My next upload for today regards the recent developments that have come to my attention that concern obligations not being fulfilled and falsehoods that have been relayed since spiritual violence commenced against my spiritual light body in 2016-2017. As a law-abiding citizen of legislation and of royal patronage, I find it quite serious that strangers and exploitative individuals that have been making attempts to make monetary gains from my proprietorship of my personal work experience, belongings, etc., are still making endeavours to cause further human rights abuses to a royal title position of my hereditary and of my identity. The issue of obligations not being fulfilled, as I keep reiterating, is the most pertinent and most sinister aspect of this. The other issue is the more serious issue of my innocent child that was unlawfully separated from my best care, endangered and harmed and exposed to liabilities, and the incessant efforts of those in my proximity where they have no right to be, and making efforts, as usual, to conduct theft of my property. Now, the issue of theft from my fortunes and my child, the theft of my child's innocence is the most dangerous aspect of this, as well as the damages to his health. The Ombudsman and the government were made aware of this matter in 2017. Now, of O'Regan's and O'Higgins bloodline of Fernandez, of which I am, the obligations are to this person. Now, in recent months and since this commenced, there have only been intruders, imposters, and trespassers, and thieves, and frauds, relaying a fallacy, obstructing justice, and stealing left, right, and centre. So I find it very serious that there have been very dangerous damages done to society as a consequence of these predators preying, PREYING, on a mother of a profession of education, humanitarianism, the arts, etc., anthropology, etc., etc., etc. So it's not acceptable for any European humanitarian agency to facilitate in any way whatsoever further human rights abuses. It's not negotiable for these predators to be facilitated in their endeavours to exploit from my work and my royal identity and my sentient sacred identity. The damages to my child already as it is, who is legally a missing person, is a very dangerous issue. So this entire situation that has been caused in my hometown in the southwest of Ireland is an absolute embarrassment and a poor reflection on the country, with the old mentality raising its head again, and that being of a mentality that is regressive and not productive or progressive. So those of identity theft, property theft, and that have harmed my child and that have withheld information and that have obstructed justice are in contempt of humanitarian law now as well. So this issue is brought to the attention of the European Court of Human Rights. You have my application since 2019. The relevant ombudsman and the honourable government have been made aware since 2017. Now, the fact that I have worked in 3 state departments and I'm still tolerating professionals and individuals, strangers in my proximity, disturbing the peace while I am awaiting news with regard to my missing son is the most outrageous situation that has been caused in this country of late. So this poor behaviour that is going on by adults setting a bad example, claiming falsehoods and relaying falsehoods and endangering the future are a liability to human rights and the constitution of this country, where they've caused casualties in their endeavours to steal from a Royal Universal Light Worker and my child that they harmed. So this is just to reiterate that those individuals of these offences against my son and I, unlawfully separated from each other in January 2017, are unwelcome in my farm holdings in Ardfert and Kilflynn. And I hope that is very clear to those of property theft, identity theft and financial theft and fraud. So I hope the royal issue is clear to the Honourable Government that royal patronage of my identity, my work experience, my credentials, my humanitarian work, the obligations to safeguard royal patronage of my identity is paramount, as is the whereabouts of my son at this very present moment as a consequence of liabilities in society. So I hope the Department of Justice and the European Court of Human Rights are aware of those that are endangering the future generations of society by damaging my royal lineage and my sacred light body between 2016 and the present date.